So we're here at the Venture Unknown party. We're all set up here, and I just got the tent is set up, and just thought I'd give you a quick update. It has been, something like 6 months now that we have had our Smittybilt tent. This is the first gen. This is just the standard size. We've got it mounted up on top of Janky there. And so far, we're still very happy with it. A couple of things that I've got going on, like you can see these ratchet straps that I am using. There's a barking dog over there. There's a rail up inside of here that when you open this up, these two pieces have to come together. So there's the outside piece and the inside piece, and they have to join together to support the floor up underneath here. Well, when you have a setup here where the thing can just kind of go up and down without having it secured, you end up in a situation where that rail doesn't engage properly and the floor starts falling out from underneath you. So you get up in the truck, right? And the truck is up there and you're rocking back and forth because you're up in there and you're crawling around and you're doing whatever you're doing. And the ladder will start moving from here, and it moves to here, and it moves to here, and it moves to here because you're picking the thing up and moving it over. And then all of a sudden you're falling out of your tent. And that's no good. So I've got the ratchet strap set up to secure the lower portion of this tent so it holds it down. And it also drives the ladder down into the ground. And it makes everything very secure. I'll take you up inside right quick. So here we are inside the tent with all of the pillows that make Marla so angry. We've actually added, it's difficult to see, but up across the top, so up there, we've got an LED light. I've also got a couple of fans set up back there in the corner. You can see up above me is the light that we've got in here with that control on it. And you can see when you just tap on it, it turns on. It goes through amber or white and then to off. It will also, if you hold the button down, it will dim. See how it got nice and dim there? So you've got two different colors and then it's adjustable brightness. It lights the whole tent up very well. In here, from the factory, you've got this strip here that's got Velcro on it, and that's supposed to hold a light. All the reviews that I've seen so far, everybody says that that light, while very functional, it's very bright. It's only one brightness, it's just kind of on off, and it's white. I also didn't really like the fact that it's all the way down at one end, so it's just kind of over your head, as opposed to illuminating the whole tent like this one does. So you can see the cord runs down here. It's got this little attachment, so when we're done and we're packing up, I just unplug this, and then the cord, which goes down out through the tent down there, we take that out, and the lamp, the light itself, just lives in here all the time. And I'm not sure I tested it exactly, but I do believe that this light takes up about 5 watts at full tilt boogie. So, if you're concerned about, oh, how much battery do I have, whatever, well, it takes 5 watts. So you can divide that up into, however many hours that your battery happen to has. We've got the EcoFlow River Pro, which has 720 watt hours. And so running the fridge, which I think we've decided that the fridge is good for something like 10 to 15 watts per hour on average, just depending on outside temperatures and what you're doing with it. So you just have to divide that up and everything else that you're running. So if you're running the light, if you're running the fans, whatever, you just do the math on it and you can figure out how long it'll last for you. I also have this little battery pack, which is Anker brand, and it's 20,000 milliamp hours. I think that comes out to about 72 watt hours. If I've got that right, I think, I looked up the math online, whatever. But this has 2 USB connections in it here, and then that's actually the charging port. And then it has this on-off switch on it as well. We used this a couple of times to run the fans in here, because we're like, oh, there are 2 plugs, whatever. But the problem that we had is when the battery pack doesn't feel a load after a couple minutes, it turns itself off. So if you turn the fans off, like you lay down and okay, well, it's a little bit cooler in here, so you turn the fans off and you want to turn them back on in the middle of the night, now you got to find this thing, figure out where it is, and hit the button so it turns back on. So what I did is I just ran this here USB extension cord, and that goes all the way down into the truck and plugs into either the truck, which I've got USB plugs in the truck, as well as a 12 volt in the USB, both in the back of the truck there, right at the rear door, that are powered off of the truck's battery. And then I also have that EcoFlow River Pro that we can plug it into that, whatever we feel we want to do with it. So the fan situation. So the fan itself is just a small 4-inch desk fan that we got from Walmart. I want to say it was $8 if I remember right. It was fairly cheap, and it doesn't move a massive amount of air, but what is it? It's 12 inches away from my head, and so the way I've got it kind of hooked in, so this is just the foot of the fan that's just hooked in up over the roof here. You can then kind of aim it wherever you want to. And though it doesn't move a ton of air, and we've got 2 of them, it moves enough that in the 70 to 75 degree temperatures that we have camped in, it's plenty. If it was 95 degrees, I don't think it's going to get it done. But for what we've done with it, we're actually really happy with these things, and they were super cheap. And these pull 3 watts per hour. So if we're running both fans, it's 6 watts per hour. Again, if you're running a little battery pack like this or something, then you just have to do the math and figure out how long you can run them for. But this is the electricity situation inside the tent. I've also got this USB hub, which is just a very, very simple USB hub. And we can plug in both fans, and since it has 4 ports, we can also plug in those little fairy lights that you've seen lighting up the campsite. They only provide a little bit of light. Mostly they're just decoration. Marla thinks they're really cute, and I'm happy that she's happy. So we run those, and we will plug those into here as well. Those little fairy lights, I want to say we got those on Amazon, and they were, $10 or something like that. They were super cheap. And again, they work for what they're there for. So the next thing that everybody complains about with these tents is this factory mattress, which is, I think it's a 2-inch thick. It's not even really memory foam. It's just kind of a foam mattress. If you like a firm mattress, like, if you could sleep on the floor and be okay with it, it's okay. But most people complain about this mattress. I think Jay doesn't complain about it in his Tacoma, but he's like, well, I think the mattress is fine. I put the mattress down, and then I put like a comforter down, and then I have a sleeping bag, and then I have a sheet, and then I have another blanket, and then, the man's got like 6 inches worth of stuff in there anyway, so whatever. But so most people don't like this mattress. It's a little bit too firm, and everybody is adding something else to the mix. We are using these Oost brand. I think that's how you say that. Oost, whatever it is. These are self-inflating mattresses that we got at REI. At the moment, they are not inflated, but you can see that they're thick. The way they self-inflate is they're actually filled with foam, so that when you pull the valve out, which is at the other end, they blow themselves up. One of the things that we really like about these that we haven't found in other mattresses is they come with these little clips. You can see that they're on both sides, and of course they're down there at the other end. And that allows us to clip them together, which in this tent you can see that the 2 of these, I think these are 30 inches wide a piece, and the tent itself is like 56 if I remember right. So they are a little bit too wide, and so you just kind of have to like jam them in there when you inflate them. But if we were to take these and put them into our ground tent, or if we were to set these things up, for you got family coming or something like that, and you're going to put them on the ground, you can connect these things together so that when people are laying on them, if there's 2 people or even just 1 person, they don't get away from each other. I don't know if you've ever tried to take 2 air mattresses, put them next to each other and lay on them, but they grow legs and run across the other side of the room. These were fairly expensive. I want to say we're into these for $160 or $169 a piece. So we've got, you know, 320 bucks, 325 bucks, something like that into these extra mattresses that go on top. We'll actually have one blanket that goes across that so that you don't feel like, you know, the gap in between them, like the seam, whatever, so much. And then we just put a sheet down and a blanket on top of us, just normal sheets and pillows like you would do at home. And we are actually very comfortable with these. One nice thing about having two of them like this is I'm a big old boy, right? Marla, not a big old boy. Hey, look, man, hey. So it's nice to be able to set the two sides at different density levels, if you will. So I fill mine up a lot more than Marla's, because as I lay on mine, I'm gonna squish mine down a whole lot more. How you doing? Mine's gonna squish down a whole lot more than Marla's is because she doesn't weigh as much as I do. So we put less air in hers, I put more air in mine, and everybody's happy and everybody's comfortable. So if you had just a single mattress that goes across, now all of a sudden I'm laying on one side and it's too squishy for me, and she's like on a trampoline on the other side. So it's really nice to have the two mattresses instead of just one. Okay, so another thing that you can see that I've done here, just to kind of make things easier with the tent, or maybe, you know, possibly more secure, is you can see that these straps that come up over the top and they hold the top down, they've got this buckle here, and then this is all Velcro. Well, if any of you are familiar with these tents, and you've probably heard it from other guys with the tents, if you actually use this buckle in the fashion that it's supposed to be used, with that Velcro, it's almost impossible to get the Velcro undone and to get this strap back out. So a lot of guys will just run, you know, just like what you see here, they will run the strap through both loops, but because this Velcro was kind of wearing out, I actually added this little wrap right here, which is just it's like a Velcro cable tie, and that just kind of wraps around so that it won't come undone. And then when I get to camp and I'm setting everything up, I just unstrap that like that, and then that can come off of there. I actually had one of those straps come undone while I'm going down the freeway. I'm like, all of a sudden, ka-clank, there's something banging across the side of the truck. I don't know what it was, but it was one of those. So I would recommend, if you've got one of these, if I'm honest, I don't know if the Gen 2 has that exact same strap design. I think it does. But definitely with the Gen 1, as these Velcro straps get older, you can either go about replacing them, or I just added that little wrap. It works perfect. So far, the only trouble that we've really had with the tent, other than the goofiness with the floor, and, you know, because I think it's just because I'm too fat and the thing was falling apart. So we've got the ratchet straps now, and that's taking care of that. When we were up in Cincinnati, it rained all night long, right? All night it rained. And we woke up in the morning, poor Marla over here ended up with wet feet. That side of the tent, which this is her side of the tent, got wet, and I can't find anywhere up here where there's a hole or something coming in. Only thing I can find is this little hook here, right? That piece of fabric actually wraps all the way around inside, and there's another one of these, looks just like this on the inside. And I'm guessing that the moisture actually was wicking in from the outside here to the in. So I've put all kinds of, you know, waterproofing, and we put all kinds of silicone in the thing. And I mean, how do you test it? It hasn't rained, right? I'm not going to get my hose out there and like, Marla, get in there, and I'm going to put the hose. So we'll see how that works out. But really, for the 800 bucks that we've got into this tent, I just couldn't be happier. Like you can see, some old man was pulled up next to us, and he's got this iCamper, and I'm pretty jealous. That's pretty badass. But he's got a lot more than $800 into it. So I guess that's about it. You got anything else to say about the tent? How do you feel about the tent at this point, 6 months in?
I love the tent. I think it would probably fit us better if there weren't so many pillows.
Just bitching about the pillows. I can't go anywhere, y'all. Let's see. What else do I need to tell you about the tent? Okay, so Marla wants the rungs on the ladder to be soft. She wants them to be, I don't know, velvet. Do you want velvet? Do you want crushed velvet, maybe?
I want them to be squishy.
So she thinks it's a great idea to take pool noodles and wrap them around the steps. She doesn't think that halfway down the ladder in the middle of the night, one of those pool noodles are going to rotate and you're going to fall down and break your asshole. So,
Zip ties.
zip ties for your asshole. What do you want zip ties?
The pool noodles on the rungs. Pool noodles with the zip ties around them to keep them from moving.
She doesn't know. Oh, look, dog. Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what? Here's something. I really wish I'd have bought the XL. So the XL is not longer, right? So the length of this, so this is going to be, you know, width that way, length this way. The length is the same. But with the XL, this area up here is actually all enclosed. So it's enclosed to about here, so when you're climbing up and down the ladder, if it's raining, you don't get rained on. And then if you actually use the annex will come down through this whole area and encloses this ladder so that the ladder is inside, like it's completely indoors. Whereas mine, if you attach the annex under here, it goes inside of the ladder, and then you're still, if it's raining and I have to pee, right, you got to climb down the thing in the rain, and then you're slipping and falling because Marla has pool noodles on the ladder and you fall down and break your ass. So, okay, that's it. That's all you get. It's awesome. Go buy you one, save the money, or, you know, or buy something that's realistic. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Okay, bye. And we're parked, I'm sorry, I don't remember this gentleman's name who's parked next to it. Who? David Eek, apparently, is parked next to us. He's got a Gen 2 tent, and I've got a Gen 1 tent, and the Gen 2 is, it's just better looking. It's great. I want one. But I can't have one because I don't have any money. I ain't got no money.